Tony Khan has made a major announcement today. It's actually a pretty exciting one. We're going to talk about that coming up in just a little bit. But first, we're going to start off with Saraya. Hey, Wrestling Observer newsletter is coming out saying that she isn't around now, and it's due to undisclosed reasons. It looks like maybe she's been pulled from television. Obviously, you guys know I don't like to speculate on injuries, personal issues, things like that. I kind of stay away from all of that. But obviously, this is a very interesting headliner, a very interesting story. Maybe there's merit to it. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's like something that we're not aware about, whatever. Or maybe it's nothing, right? Maybe it's just a creative decision or whatever it may be. But it is interesting considering the fact that AEW reportedly had plans for Tony Khan to set up a massive match between her and Mercedes Moné. Obviously, that's massive, right? A lot of big money in that matchup, a lot of great fun with that matchup, and ultimately, it's a very safe matchup for both of them. But then you got to keep in mind that Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks, she's injured. A lot of people, for some reason, think that's a work too, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying whatever. Like, it's always a possibility. It could be, but to know that was the original plans is a really big deal. And I think the last time... Did they ever have a singles feud for the women's championship? Not under Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship. Okay, I'm going to get off track. But nonetheless, I was just trying to think of a time if maybe they crossed paths recently. But other than that, no, it's probably been like since like 2016, 2018, 2017, something like that. That's probably the last time they wrestled with each other. But nonetheless, it was a very safe bet. And I kind of wanted to throw it out there that this is very interesting. She's been pulled from TV. Not necessarily sure as to why. We'll kind of figure out something soon. As far as being used for Forbidden Door 2, obviously things could be changed, but it doesn't look like there's anything being in the works. Guys, we got to talk about AEW Collision. Tony Khan coming out and says very publicly, I never said there would be a hard roster split for AEW, Dynamite, and Collision. He was on Busted Open Radio promoting Rampage on TNT, and then obviously promoting Collision on TNT for tomorrow, which is Saturday. Mark Henry was talking to him, and basically, you know, I like this. I like Busted Open Radio. I think they do a great job. But really what this came down to was the nitty-gritty of Tony Khan being asked about the hard brand split. And he says, no, it's not a separate roster. In fact, you're seeing people that are wrestling on the show that just wrestled on Wednesday, where we follow up on what happened with Tony Storm versus Sky Blue for the AEW Women's World Championship. He said, no, it's not a separate roster. It gives us an opportunity to showcase a lot of the top stars in AEW and feature certain stars week to week. I never said there would be a hard roster split. In recent media appearances, I've been making it pretty clear that it won't be. And it's a great opportunity for the fans to see featured stars on these Dynamite shows and the Collision shows week in and week out. But we also we can have a rivalry that carries over between both shows to make follow-up matches, settle grudges, or book big title matches. I'm on the team of a brand split. If you guys follow this channel, it's one thing that I criticize about WWE. It's one thing that I want to see in AEW. I think a brand split's the better way to go. I think AEW's audience would prefer a brand split with Tony Khan running one. But also at the same time, too, the reality is that you are struggling to showcase talent. You are. Start and stop pushes, things not being added up, momentum, things like that. It's fair criticism. A lot of people say the same thing, right? When you add a second show, if you're already not using people for Wednesday nights, and you're going to be using the Saturday show to continuously tell those stories, I mean, you're just hurting yourself at the end. You are. And I think a lot of people are going to take this as a hate comment or like me being a dick towards AEW. But the truth is, the reason why I've been so keen on a brand split before any of this even starts is because you can really separate your two shows and use both of them for totally different storylines, creating different stars for each show. And then when you treat each show like it's its own show, eventually you can do brand warfare and stuff like that. And I just think there's a formula that works. I truly believe that if a wrestling company is going to have several shows, they should absolutely separate their rosters. And I know a lot of people don't seem to like that, but I've highlighted this too many times. For Tony Khan to not separate the rosters, I feel like this is going to be chaotic because both shows will feel the same. And I feel like if you could distinctively make AEW Collision feel different from Dynamite, you're going to do well. And if you guys don't believe me, if you think I'm just pulling some shit out of my ass randomly talking about this, I mean, keep in mind, Rampage was supposed to be this different type of show, and it didn't last long. And Rampage quickly failed. I consider it a failure. That's from my perspective. I like Rampage. I don't think people realize I actually like Rampage more than Dynamite, just so you guys know. But I still look at it as a failure. I can still enjoy it, but I just don't think it's that. I don't think it is what it should have been. Simple as that. And that's why we're starting to see it change again. AEW made the announcement. Tony Khan made an announcement today. We're going to take a look at social media. We're going to pull this up really quick because Tony Khan has revealed the AEW Collision debuts tomorrow night on TNT Drama at 8 p.m. at the United Center. We're going to have a great announcement team. God, I'm so bad at reading. We're going to have a great announce team on Saturday nights with your new weekly commentary team, Real Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness. Joined by our expert analysis from Legend JR's Barbecue. Sick. This is great. Great commentary team. Very big announcement for AEW. I thought Tony Schiavone the other day was saying he was going to be working Collision. Obviously, that doesn't appear to be the case. But nonetheless, I think this is a great move. I think this is a really good commentary team. I think they will do a fantastic job on Saturday nights. And I'm glad that these individuals aren't going to be working Dynamite. Hopefully, right? It goes back to what I was saying about the brand split, man. These shows, it's my same complaint about WWE. WWE Raw and SmackDown have to have different designs, different graphics, different stages, different rings, different presentation that makes them different. Hence why they have different commentary. And WWE pisses me off, by the way, because they don't do that. They have the same stage designs, right? But I feel like you got to distinctively make your two shows different. Where WWE does well is that their commentary teams are different. Now, whether you like the commentators or not, that's up to you. But having different commentary teams is a good win. That's why I like that for Collision. Collision having a distinct voice with Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness, I think it's going to be immediately a big difference between them and Dynamite. I think it's going to make everybody very intrigued because of the fact that that aspect of it will feel different from Dynamite. I think it's really important, though, for AEW to move forward. They got to have a different stage from Dynamite. The red colors seem to be the thing. We'll see how presentation is. Obviously, we don't want to jump ahead. Jim Ross is great. It doesn't look like he's going to be a constant. He doesn't look like he's going to be a constant commentator for them. So like he'll be there a little bit here and there. But we'll see what happens. Big stuff. I like this though. I love the commentary team. I think this is a big win. But again, it's all about differentiating the two shows and making them feel different. And I think that's really important.